Hello children, welcome to biology class. We are discussing the lesson tissues. In last class, we discussed about simple permanent tissues. Children, what are the three types of simple permanent tissues? Yes, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. We discussed its structure, functions, etc. I hope you studied that topic. Today, we are going to discuss about complex permanent tissue. Examples are xylem and phloem. Before discussing about complex permanent tissues in detail, let me ask one question. What is the main difference between simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue? Yes, complex permanent tissues are having different components. All these components will be of different size and shape, and together they perform a particular function. Okay? So today we can discuss in detail about xylem and phloem. Both are vascular tissue. They will conduct water and food respectively. Complex permanent tissue. So what is the speciality of complex permanent tissues, children? Complex tissues are made of more than one type of cells, and these cells coordinate to perform a common function. Okay, so in this microscopic view, you can clearly see visible. The xylem and phloem are clearly visible. This is xylem tubes and this is phloem. Okay, so both of them are conducting tissue. Both xylem and phloem are conducting tissue and constitute a vascular bundle. What do you mean by conduction? You just analyze these two diagrams, children. First diagram, you can see a plant with water and here plant without water. So what happens when we pour water? It will reaches to each and every part of the plant. How it reaches to each and every part of the plant, children? Yes, through xylem tissue. Xylem tissue will conduct water. Clear? In same manner, phloem tissue will conduct food materials. Clear? So, vascular or conductive tissue is a distinctive feature of the complex plant, one that has made possible their survival in the terrestrial environment. Clear? Then, again, we can see phloem and xylem in this microscopic view of dicot and monocot stem respectively. Both the xylem and phloem together called vascular bundle. Okay? And here you can see xylem tubes and phloem tissue. Okay? So we can discuss in detail about xylem, X-Y-L-E-M. Being a complex permanent tissue, xylem consists of 4 different components. Which are the 4 different components? Xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. The same you can observe in this diagram. Xylem tracheids, xylem vessel, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. Clear? And what is the speciality of this cell of xylem? They have thick walls and many of them are dead cells. Okay? First 2 components, xylem tracheids and vessels are tubular structures and this allows them to transport water and minerals vertically. This is xylem tracheid and this is xylem vessel. Being tubular in structure, water can easily transport vertically. Okay, and the third component of xylem is xylem parenchyma. What is its function? They store food and help in the sideways conduction of water. Clear? And last component, fibers. Xylem fibers, they are mainly supportive in function. I hope you understood about xylem. So I will explain it again. Xylem consists of 4 components, xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Tracheids and vessels are tubular structure. This allows them to transport water and minerals vertically. Parenchyma stores food and it helps for the sideways conduction of water. And the last one, xylem fibers, they are mainly supportive in function. Clear? Next one is phloem. Phloem, P-H-L-O-E-M, phloem, for the conduction of food. Okay, phloem for food. Same as that of xylem, phloem is also made up of 4 types of elements. Which are they? Sieve tube, companion cells, phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma. These 2 are same as that of xylem, right? So which are the 4 components of phloem? Sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. Sieve tubes are tubular cells with perforated walls. Phloem is unlike xylem in that minerals can move in both directions in it. I will show you a diagram which explains the directions later. Okay? And phloem transports food. Okay, xylem transport water, whereas phloem transports food from leaves to other part of the plant. Except for phloem fiber, phloem cells are living cells. That means companion cells, sieve tube and phloem parenchyma are live cells, but phloem fiber is dead cell. Same diagram is there in our textbook. You should copy this diagram to your notebook. So you can see sieve plate, sieve tube, phloem parenchyma and companion cells. Okay? And this is xylem vessel, xylem tracheid, xylem fiber. This is phloem sieve element. Sieve plate will be there and fibers. And you should draw this diagram to your notebook. The same diagram is there in our textbook. Okay? And about the direction, the movement. Children, in xylem, it is having a one-way trafficking. But in the case of phloem, the movement of substance is bidirectional. Why? Yes, the food will transport upward in phloem, but we know that because of the process photosynthesis, the glucose is produced on leaves and a downward movement of food products also there. That's why in phloem upward and downward movement is there, but in the case of xylem only upward movement. Because of transpiration, water moves up through xylem tubes, but in phloem both upward and downward movements of food particles are there. Clear? Okay. Now we can discuss the differences. What is the first difference? It transports water and minerals from root to the apical part of the plant. And phloem, it transports food materials from leaves to growing part of the plant. Next, xylem consists of tracheids, vessels, xylem fiber and parenchyma. It consists of sieve tube, sieve cells, companion cells, phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma. Then only xylem parenchyma is living. Here sieve tube, companion cell and phloem parenchyma are living. Only phloem fiber is dead. And the last difference, transport is unidirectional in xylem, and here transport is bidirectional, both upward and downward movement is there. Okay, but here in phloem only upward movement, because of the transpiration full water move upward. Clear? And next topic is plant's epidermis, the outermost covering. What you observe is the outermost layer of the cell. Yes, the outermost layer of the cell is called epidermis. Clear? The epidermis is usually made of a single layer of cells. The entire surface of a plant has this outer covering of epidermis. It protects all the part of plants. Okay? So, here this is epidermis, the outermost covering. In some plants living in very dry habitats, the epidermis may be thicker since protection against water loss is critical. Okay? And epidermal cells on the aerial parts of plant often secrete a waxy water-resistant layer on their outer surface. What may be its function? Yeah, they aid in protection against loss of water, mechanical injury and invasion by parasitic fungi. Clear? Since it has a protective role to play, cells of epidermal tissue form a continuous layer without intercellular space. Okay? So epidermal tissue form a continuous layer without intercellular spaces. Most epidermal cells are relatively flat. Often their outer and side walls are thicker than the inner wall. Children, I know you observed a leaf epidermis through microscope. So you can see small pores here and there in the epidermis of leaf. Isn't it? What is that pores? Yes, these pores are called stomata. What is its function? Before that, what is its structure? It is enclosed by two kidney-shaped cells called guard cells. They are, what is their function? Yes, exchange of gases. They are the respiratory organs, isn't it? And helps with transpiration too. What is transpiration? Loss of water in the form of water vapor. Okay, so it is a respiratory organ of plant and they helps for transpiration. Okay, and roots of epidermal cells are having another peculiarity. Their function is water absorption. That's why they bear long hair-like parts. You can see root hairs here, and it increases the total absorptive surface area because they have to collect more amount. They have to absorb more amount of water, isn't it? Then, in some plants like desert plants, epidermis is a thick waxy coating of cutin, a chemical substance with waterproof quality. What is cutin? It is a chemical substance with waterproof quality seen on plants like desert plants on its outer surface. And as plants grow older, the outer protective tissue undergoes certain changes. A strip of secondary meristem replaces the epidermis of the stem. And what happens? Cells on outside are cut off from this layer and it forms several layer thick cork or bark of the tree. So you can see cork here. Cells of cork are dead and compactly arranged without intercellular space. The feet of epidermis is clear now. They also have a chemical called suberin in their walls that makes them impervious to gases and water. Okay, so that's about complex permanent tissue and epidermis. I hope you understood today's topic. Children, draw the components of xylem. Which are the components? Xylem tracheids, vessels, fibers and parenchyma to your notebook. And draw the structure of phloem with companion cells, sieve tube, sieve plate, phloem parenchyma and phloem fiber to your notebook. Okay, children? So study well. We can meet in next class. Next class, we will discuss animal tissue. Okay? Study well.